Let's discuss, how do we hire the best talent? What are the strategies that you need to use to be able to find the best talent for your business? This is the process that we would recommend. Number one, it's about putting together a really good job spec. In all the noise of the last few years, we found that a lot of companies, they're trying to try all sorts of different processes, and sometimes they're getting some mixed bag results. So we would suggest put together a proper job spec and send it to the candidate. Virtually every candidate asks us for a copy of this. So put something together which articulates clearly what the job is and what's involved. The next part then is to understand exactly what are the skills you need to hire, and understand who's going to interview them and how you're going to interview them. And this is something that we can help you with. So you want to interview against the skills and the competencies that they have, as opposed to just trying to find someone from a similar industry who's done a similar role, because that person will probably get bored in a few months' time. And there was a Harvard study which basically assessed the performance of candidates who joined organizations who had industry experience relevant to the organization and people who didn't. And they found that in the first 6 months, those people with industry experience, yes, they performed a lot better. But after the first 6 months, it was the people with non-industry experience which really performed a lot better and were going to be the future leaders of the organizations. So again, think about the competencies, think about the skills you need to interview, find some questions, and then work together a pretty comprehensive process. And on the subject of process, it's really good that you have a seamless process, because people are going to go home, their partners, their family, their friends are going to say, "Oh, how did you go in that job interview?" And if there's a slow pause between rounds or no feedback, people lose interest, or their partners, family, friends at home say, "Oh, I wouldn't bother with them. They don't seem to have their act together." So, you know, making sure you give a good outward impression is really, really important. And that brings us on to really putting together the employee value proposition. It is competitive out there. So how do you make sure that you are getting the information that you need to out about your organization? You need to be explaining the culture. Then you need to talk through the fun things you do. You need to talk through the leadership style. And also, we know that candidates are attracted by the progression opportunities. So talk about the journey. Don't be afraid to say negative, but talk about where, if this person joins, what are they going to envisage and where they're going to end up longer term. And on the subject of longer term, we really need to plan for the future. There's a really good article by one of the partners at Egon Zehnder, which talks about the fact that we all hire people like we have done in the last 10 to 20 years. And we really actually need to be hiring for 2 to 3 years' time. So it's a question of hiring for tomorrow, not just for today. And we need to, identify the skills we need in our organization, but then we need to really interview against those skills. And that's going to make us a lot more robust for the future. If you wish to find out any further information, please go to our website or get in touch with one of our consultants after you've watched this. We'd love to help you out, and we look forward to hearing from you.